Thanks for joining us for the KTLA 5 News at Noon. I'm Glenn Walker.
And I'm Lou Parker. We are following breaking news out of Laguna Beach, where crews are on the scene of a landslide.
Let's get up to Rich Prickett overhead in Sky 5 with the latest. Rich?
Glenn and Lou, you can see a portion of the cliff face that came sliding down on the sand here in Laguna Beach. This happened at about 7:15 this morning. Now we have officials here that will be looking into what may have caused this landslide, and they have closed the beach in the meantime. And you can also see a portion of the steps that came crashing down. So we're right near 1,000 Steps Beach off of 10th Ave here in Laguna Beach. This is mainly a private beach, but they have it roped off and closed while the investigation continues here. Good news, no injuries have been reported and no homes have come down as a result of the landslide. But of course, this will be under investigation. They will bring out geologists. The fire department is here. So for now, we're live in Sky 5 and Rich Prickett. I'll send it back to you in Hollywood.
All right. Thank you, Rich. And just a reminder, Orange County Bureau Chief Chip Yost will have a live report from this landslide coming up at 12:30. Now at noon, new CNN video showing new angles of the deadly mid-air collision near our nation's capital as the investigation into the cause of that crash continues. Now, the collision between an American Airlines passenger jet and a military Black Hawk helicopter killed 67 people.
Federal investigators are now examining flight data recorders recovered from the Potomac River. Alina Bovian is live in our newsroom with the very latest details. Hi, Alina.
Hi there, Lou and Glenn. An absolute tragedy, and the cause of the collision is still under investigation. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating, and they plan to hold a press conference later this afternoon. So far, we know that investigators last night recovered 2 flight data recorders, also known as black boxes, from the American Eagle jet. Also new today, these 2 videos. Take a look. This video was obtained by CNN. These are cell phone videos capturing the crash between the passenger flight and the military helicopter. The first video shows the helicopter flying at speed over the Potomac River from the left side of the screen, and the Black Hawk has red lights flashing on its tail and on the body. The American Airlines plane can be seen flying toward the airport. The Black Hawk then collides with the airliner, causing an explosion. The airliner reportedly spun toward the river before making impact with the water. Now also, take a look at this. This is the second surveillance video. It appears to be shot from the airport grounds. It shows the plane descending into Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport runway 33 from the left, and the helicopter flying above the river on the right. They continue to fly toward one another at low altitude, eventually colliding in a large explosion. The plane, American Eagle Flight 5342, had taken off from Wichita, Kansas, and was approaching landing when the collision occurred. The helicopter was on a training flight with crew based at Fort Belvoir, Virginia.
Reagan National is one that, as you mentioned, is a complex airspace. It's got military operations, military helicopter operations, as well as Coast Guard, as well as National Park Service. And they've been in place for years and years. They have missions to accomplish and to perform in that airspace. And they've done it safely over all these years.
And unfortunately, all 67 people on board the passenger flight died. 64 people were on the passenger flight, and 3 soldiers on board the helicopter. All 67 pronounced dead. Recovery teams were out at the site this morning. Right now, investigators are trying to determine if the helicopter crew was wearing night vision goggles. Also part of the investigation, if the air traffic controller was performing 2 jobs at the same time of the collision. Now, during a press briefing, President Donald Trump implied diversity, equity, and inclusion programs could be the cause of this, implying that crew members were not necessarily the most skilled. Additionally, a press conference with the D.C. Fire Department, the AMS, and also D.C. Mayor is slated for later this afternoon. Also, our Samantha Cortese will have the latest on the victims coming up at 12:30. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Alina Bovian, thank you. Well, federal authorities have announced charges against a local man connected with a drone collision during the Palisades firefight.
That incident downed a super scooper for several days. Corrine Winter is live in downtown L.A. with details from prosecutors. Hi, Corrine.
Hi there, Lou and Glenn, and yes, we know who that individual is, 56-year-old Peter Ackman of Culver City. That's the individual, according to the Department of Justice, the drone operator who flew his drone into a super scooper during the Palisades fire. That fire, of course, caused a lot of widespread devastation, also many deaths. The DOJ says Ackman has pleaded guilty to 1 count of unsafe operation of an unmanned aircraft, and that he also allegedly admitted to his reckless and illegal conduct. According to federal prosecutors, Ackman drove to the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica. He parked his vehicle on the top floor of a parking structure and flew his drone in the direction of the Palisades. Prosecutors say he wanted to see the damage that the wildfire was causing. That was reportedly about 1.5 miles in the direction of the fire, but he lost sight of that drone, and that drone then collided with a super scooper carrying 2 crew members, aggressively trying to fight that fire. That collision left a 3-inch by 6-inch hole in the left wing of the super scooper. It had to be taken out of service, and we know how important those super scoopers are, one of the most important firefighting aircraft in their arsenal. Here's more on the charges.
Federal prosecutors today filed a criminal charge against Peter Trip Ackerman. Mr. Ackerman has agreed to accept responsibility and plead guilty to 1 count of unsafe operation of an unmanned aircraft. As part of his plea agreement, Mr. Ackerman had admitted that he acted recklessly, and his conduct posed an imminent threat to firefighting crews.
And Ackman has a 1 o'clock court appearance here in the federal building behind me in downtown Los Angeles, so we'll have much more. We'll see if prosecutors have more statements after that court hearing. Maybe we'll hear from the defendant's attorney. Either way, we'll be standing by for those possible developments. We'll send it back to you now in the studio.
All right, Corrine Winter, thank you.
Well, some coastal residents will hold a demonstration later today voicing their opposition to the proposed site meant to process hazardous debris from the Palisades fire.
It is near a popular beach. KTLA 5's Omar Lewis live now in Malibu with the details. Omar.
Glenn, Lou, good afternoon to you both. Those concerned residents say they plan on making their voices and their concerns heard out here later today, this afternoon, as tensions continue to rise over this EPA debris removal site behind us here on PCH at the old Topanga Ranch Motel. The EPA says this site has been secured. It's about 5 acres with 3 different parcels for that hazardous debris like lithium-ion batteries. Meanwhile, those concerned residents say the site could have serious consequences for public health, the environment, and the nearby ocean. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency is working to remove hazardous waste from properties devastated by the recent Palisades fire. While that effort is crucial for recovery, the decision to store fire debris here at this location at PCH near Topanga Beach is sparking backlash. Residents and environmental activists argue the site's proximity to the beach raises concerns about toxic runoff into the ocean, air quality hazards, and long-term environmental damage. We spoke to EPA officials about exactly how they plan to address those concerns and secure this debris removal site. While the EPA maintains that necessary safety measures are in place, we spoke to one longtime Topanga resident who says while she appreciates the EPA's efforts, she's also not convinced about those safety measures. Take a listen.
We feel very concerned that moving it from its primary site of the Palisades fire poses real risk, and specifically putting those wastes at the top of the Santa Monica Bay in a fragile water system with porous soil has a strong likelihood we are concerned of causing environmental damage for years to come. We ask for this placement to be